Do you dread opening your utility bill these days and you're trying to figure out what can I do to make that number go down? Well, in today's interview, we're talking to Todd Abercrombie of Midwest Building Performance, who is a BBB accredited business. Todd has spent years working in the energy savings field and energy efficiency field, and he knows all about the home energy audit process that will take a complete look at your home and to figure out what you can do to help that energy efficiency. So be sure to screenshot the end of this video so we can give you those resources and you can figure out how to save more money and be more energy efficient with your home.
All good things with BBB helps you be a better business.
Well, thanks for joining me today, Todd of Midwest Building Performance right here in Central Illinois. We are going to talk to you all about how to be more energy efficient, a hot topic right now for everybody after we've gotten our utility bills, and that's been fun.
Indeed.
That's been fun. So let's dive into it. You do lots of things, including energy audits, but tell me all about what Midwest Building Performance offers today.
So we analyze buildings for energy consumption patterns. We look at, but we go a lot beyond energy efficiency to humidity control and moisture management and even safety like gas leaks and carbon monoxide and things like that. But at the end of the day, we want to present like a whole home approach or a whole business approach to making sure that any upgrades are going to be cost effective.
Yeah. It's an excellent point you make. So just to emphasize, you do both commercial and residential
Correct.
audits.
Yep.
That's fantastic. So business owners pay attention as well as our bills are going up, and there's lots of ways that we can be more energy efficient. But let's start with, what does an energy audit involve today?
So it's a combination of both visual and diagnostic inspections of the building, and depending on like who's doing the audit, it can vary from organization to company that does it. Like utility programs do a kind of a basic walkthrough kind of an audit, where we come in and we do more of the diagnostic side of it.
What's an example?
So blower door testing, infrared thermal imaging, performance testing of HVAC systems like duct systems to make sure they're operating correctly. Ventilation testing and things like that. So at the end of the day, we let the results of the testing guide the recommendations, and not walking in with any preconceived assumptions about, it's definitely going to be this or that.
Can you talk about how an infrared camera or the blower door test helps identify a problem?
So those are targeted to evaluating the insulation and how tight a building is. So the blower door measures how drafty or how tight the building is. Ideally, an energy efficient building is going to be a tightly constructed building. But we also want it to be well insulated as well. So the infrared can pick up some deficiencies of insulation.
Is there a common, when you look at how old a building is there an age where you're like, definitely probably going to need some new insulation in that one?
Not necessarily. We've got quite a few clients that have relatively new homes that still have comfort and energy bill issues. So sometimes we have to dig through the new insulation to see, what maybe was missed, or what attention to detail wasn't there.
Can you give an example of one? Like what would be missed in a new construction?
Like in the attic, we like to make sure all the chases are sealed around chimneys and plumbing stacks and recessed lights, and often they get missed or overlooked.
They get missed.
Yeah.
Okay. And can it be too much? Can you have too much insulation in your home?
There is a law of diminishing returns at some point, but today's standards are like 15 to 17 inches of insulation in an attic, and of course wall insulation as well. The limitations, of course, are in a wall, it's only so deep. You can only get so much insulation there.
Okay. And then does it settle over time?
If it's done correctly, it shouldn't settle. When you blow insulation in, there's the manufacturers expect a certain little bit of settling, but that's built into the initial, we need to blow this high to get to this level.
And so if your home's already been constructed and you need additional wall insulation, how do you do it?
If the walls are empty already, there's a variety of techniques. Usually that's dense packing with cellulose or fiberglass insulation. But the walls are already insulated. that there's no cost-effective easy there. If you were re-siding, that's a time to maybe put some insulation on the outside of the building to build out. But from a simple energy payback, that's harder to justify.
Okay.
Unless you're doing it with other upgrades.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. What kind of things can consumers do to help offset their utility costs this time of year?
I mean, it ranges from simple DIY stuff to obviously hiring a professional.
Okay.
On the DIY side, managing that thermostat to a point it's still comfortable. And everybody's got a different version of what comfort means. But if 72 degrees is what you like in the summer, maybe 74 or 76 can be tolerable. Vice versa in the winter, maybe if 72 is like what you like, maybe you can drop it to 70 or 68. But there is a certain level that becomes uncomfortable, and we don't want to sacrifice comfort just for energy efficiency.
So in our house, our teenagers wear hoodies year round until it's winter, and then they're walking around in shorts and a t-shirt and then complain about the temperature. Like, where are those hoodies that you had on all year long?
Sure.
Go put those on.
Yep.
Are there any grants or programs that you're aware of right now that could help offset the cost of some of these energy upgrades?
So if there are clients in the Ameren territory, Ameren energy efficiency programs are sort of a no-brainer, both on residential and commercial side. There's a lot of offerings they have, but on the residential side, there's two major programs that involve insulation, which I get involved in. One is the income qualified program, which majority of the population actually will qualify for.
Really?
It's not just a low income, it's moderate. And they can get, sometimes no cost or nearly no cost upgrades.
Really?
And then if the homeowner doesn't qualify in those programs, then there are still discount programs through the Ameren programs for insulation. And then when they're buying equipment through heating and cooling contractors or even plumbers, the program's got discounts for energy efficient furnaces and boilers and air conditioners and water heaters and heat pumps and all that sort of thing. If they're in the Ameren territory but also have propane, there may be a way for Ameren to actually convert propane over to electricity. So I would say refer to Ameren's AmerenIllinoisSavings.com website to take a look at that.
Are there common comfort complaints you hear from homeowners this time of year, and how do you go about solving them?
So most people have a room in their house that doesn't heat or cool like the rest of the house does, or if they have a two-story house, usually that second floor is hot in the summer and probably cold in the winter. When we do the diagnostics during the energy audit, there's a lot of different layers to unpack to see what the problems are. Sometimes it's insulation and air sealing. Sometimes it's heating and cooling, whether it's the size of the systems installed or the airflow through the systems or the windows. There's a lot to look at. And often it's not always one single thing. It's usually compounding factors that relate to it. So
it depends on what the issue is as to how you solve the problem.
Right. But at the end of the day, we want to take approach that, we don't want people spending money that it's just throwing money of not knowing what's going on. Like, let's let the data speak for itself and say, okay, based on this, you should definitely do this.
Yeah, that's really smart. For small business owners, what is the biggest energy efficiency opportunities in commercial buildings that go overlooked?
Gosh, it varies depending on what the type of business it is. For office buildings, I think a lot of times the off periods, lights are on, heating and cooling systems are operating, when nobody's in the building in a way that isn't necessary.
Okay.
So
you can get programmable things that will help with that? Or?
Correct. I mean, so every business operates a little differently. Some are occupied 24 hours a day. Some are just, 10, 20 hours a week. So it can vary from business to business.
And what kind of trends are you seeing in your industry as far as energy efficiencies go? What's on the horizon to help us improve?
So there's a couple different things. So heat pumps are hot right now.
Yeah.
People are replacing heating and cooling systems with, heat pump systems for their homes. There's heat pump water heaters. And then my industry has always been tied into indoor air quality, but even the Ameren Energy Efficiency Programs has dived into the Healthier Homes program, where they help people that have more respiratory issues like asthma, COPD, dive into the energy efficiency and air quality at the same time.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about air quality. Mold can be an issue. Sometimes you can have the home so tight, so sealed up that you have an air quality issue. Can you talk about some of that?
Yeah, so mold can be a tricky one. When we analyze a home or a business, we always look for existing issues with mold or water management that precedes that. And indeed, the tighter the house gets, the more likely that water management inside and outside the building is super important. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's basic things like gutters and drainage on the outside. Sometimes in the inside, it's ventilations from bathrooms and kitchen fans. But it can get a little more complicated with the number of occupants, dehumidifiers running, the size of air conditioners. A lot can go into it. So
you're really looking at the whole home picture or business picture when you're going in, not just insulation or not just windows. Correct. You're looking at all of those things
because they're all interconnected. Because you can make a change to one that may have positive or negative impacts on other areas. So you have to understand all that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to go back to the heat pump thing because that was something that we did on our home. But Central Illinois, it gets pretty cold. Can you talk about the limitations of a heat pump?
Well, historically, it was how well can the heat pump heat in the winter because it's pulling heat from the outdoor air. The newer heat pumps, especially the ones with like inverter technologies, can heat all the way down to like -2, -5 degrees outside.
That's pretty
with
impressive.
The heat pump. Most of them will still have a backup, in case it can't keep up for any reason. Mm-hmm. But the technology is there, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we were pretty impressed. It was kind of how much did it run? How much did the furnace actually run today? It was kind of checking those charts and seeing how well the heat pump could actually keep up with the comfort of the home, but not not actually running the furnace.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So with utility prices rising recently, what kind of programs are available through ComEd or Ameren right now that might help some people make some of these upgrades?
So the major utilities like ComEd and Ameren have energy efficiency programs that can offer rebates or incentives on insulation, heating and cooling equipment, water heating kind of equipment. Mm-hmm. So it depends on what qualifies and what location they're in.
Yeah. So for all those questions, we can just come to you guys.
Figure
out who qualifies. Is it common that most people qualify, or is it kind of lower income people that always qualify?
It depends on how the utilities portfolio is set out, because they usually have a pocket where there's a low and moderate income, and then they have pockets that anybody can qualify for different rebates on different products.
Okay, so there's incentive programs that will help you offset the cost, and then there's also rebates that are available all through the utilities.
Correct.
What other advice do you have for people on how to improve, your utility expenses and have a more energy efficient home or business?
I would say just keep our eyes open for opportunities, especially for the Ameren energy efficiency programs, because they have a lot of benefits, even light bulbs, LED light bulbs, power strips, things like that. But if they qualify in the energy efficiency programs, I would say definitely look at the website and get signed up.
And do you help with that process? Because it can seem overwhelming when you're trying to figure out if you qualify or not. Do you help with that?
Yep. Yeah, we sign up people through referrals, word of mouth kind of thing. They'll call us and say, hey, we'd like to sign up. So my office manager, Teresa, takes care of that.
Fantastic.
And guides people through the process, because sometimes it's if filling out a survey online is easy for some and not for others, and you got to upload documents. So we can handle that and ease that process.
Oh, thank goodness, because that is kind of a headache.
Right.
That is. Anything else we should cover?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. Well, if you are looking to improve if you are looking to improve your home's energy efficiency or even your business, please check out Midwest Building Performance, a BBB accredited business. Todd here is happy to answer all of your questions. Thanks for watching.
All Good Things with BBB helps you be a better business.